different types also.
Okay, so all right, just let us first recall everything. So in this chapter, until now, we have discussed the meaning of revenue, wherein I have explained that revenue refers to the amount received by a firm from the sale of a quantity of a commodity in the market. All right. So whatever the amount that we received on account of sale of commodity on after selling the total quantity in the market, the amount that we receive is the revenue. Revenue can be further categorized as the total, marginal, and the average revenue. Total revenue is what? Total revenue is the sum total of all the amount received on account of or sale of all the units available to a seller. And marginal revenue is something which is generated on account of sale of one extra unit of the commodity. And similarly, average revenue is the revenue generated per unit of output. So all of these things we have discussed in the last class. So before proceeding further, let's do one question based on the all of these type of revenue. After the explanation of the revenue, we have covered the definition as well: total revenue, average revenue, and the marginal revenue. Okay, so let's just do one question so as to recall everything. So we will be starting with this with one question. Just a minute. And I want all of you to note this. So first of all, let's suppose these are the various quantity of commodity that a firm is selling. These are the output or the quantity. So these are the prices of the commodity, and we need to calculate in this question the total revenue, marginal revenue, and the average revenue. All right, so let's say the quantity is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and prices are, let's say, 18, then 15, then it is 16, then 12, and 10, and then let's say it is 15 again. So this usually does not happen that as the quantity increases, prices also increase. Generally, what happens though, when the seller sells more quantity, as the quantity increases, the price will decrease. Mostly this happens, but I'm for the time being, I'm not following the basic rule of the price and quantity. So as to understand the total revenue and average revenue and marginal revenue, I have taken the values just randomly. So here I'm not following the basic principle that as the quantity increases, price cannot increase, price must decline. All right. So for just to solve this particular question, I have taken these variables, I have taken these values. So in this question, we need to calculate what? First of all, we need to calculate the marginal total revenue. And for total revenue, we will be applying this formula: price into quantity, right? And for average revenue, it is very simple: total revenue divided by the quantity or the output produced. And for marginal revenue, I think you already know, whatever the change in the total revenue will be considered as the marginal revenue. So I want all of you to calculate the value of the total, marginal, and the average revenue. And if anyone having any problem with the question, just let me know. Junaid, is it clear? Question is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Samiksha, Peer, and Steve, is it clear? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Junaid, done?
No, sir, now I'm doing just question.
Okay. So first of all, we will calculate the value of the total revenue, and for that we will be multiplying the price with the quantity. So multiplying the output and price, we will get 1 into 18, we will get 18.
18,
Then 15 into 2 will be
30,
30,
48,
48,
48,
48 again,
50,
50,
90.
and 90. All right. Then marginal revenue. Marginal revenue refers to the change in the total revenue. Okay. So first of all, always remember that at first unit of output, marginal revenue is always equals to the total revenue. Marginal and the total remains same. So at first unit, marginal revenue is always equals to the total revenue. Now, for calculating the marginal revenue at the second, third, fourth, and fifth and sixth unit, we will be considering the changes arising in the total revenue. So total revenue rises from 18 to 30. That means total revenue, there is an increase of 12 rupees in the marginal
12,
revenue. Okay, so this is the marginal revenue. Again, total revenue increases by how
18,
how much? 18, correct. So 18 is the marginal revenue. Okay. Similarly, next at the
0.
fourth unit, it was 48 at the third unit, and it remains 48 at the fourth unit as well. So there is no addition in the total revenue, therefore the marginal revenue will be 0. Okay, now at the
2,
fifth unit, marginal revenue is 2, and at the sixth unit,
40.
marginal revenue is 40. So whatever the change arising in the total revenue is considered as the marginal revenue. Okay. Okay, moving on to the average revenue. Average revenue is very simple. Total revenue divided by quantities, average revenue. So average revenue will be 18,
18, 15,
15,
16,
16,
12,
12,
10,
10,
15.
and 15.
Sir, it will be divided by 1.
Which one will be divided by 1?
Uh,
At the first unit, in order to calculate the average revenue at the first unit, we will be dividing the total revenue by the
yes, sir.
quantity. 18 divided by 1, we will get 18. But for the second, again, we will be dividing the total revenue by the quantity. 30 divided by 2, we will get 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one thing that you will notice in this question, that that average revenue is all every time it is equal to the price of the commodity, right? See, price
Yes,
of the
sir.
commodity at first unit price was 18, the average revenue is also 18. Again, at the second unit price was 15, the average revenue we got is also 15. Average revenue at the third unit is 16, price was also 16. So this means that average revenue is always equals to the price of the commodity. That is what I was also telling you yesterday, that average revenue or average revenue of the seller always equalizes the price of the commodity. Why it happens? No, see, now we will prove this. Let's understand why we say that average revenue is equals to price of the commodity. Now, try to understand this. Just tell me, how do we calculate the average revenue? What is the What is the formula for calculating average revenue? So the formula is very simple. We basically divide the total revenue by the quantity, right? This is how we got the average revenue. So on the other hand, let's keep the price. All right. Now total revenue can be written as price into quantity, right? Samiksha, Peer, and Junaid, can we write total revenue as the price into quantity?
Yes,
And
sir.
in the denominator, quantity will remain same. On the
Yes,
other
sir.
hand, price will be there. So AR is written as TR divided by Q. TR can be written as price into quantity. QR remains same. So that will remain same in the denominator. Now we will cancel out the Q in the numerator and in the denominator. So this will, by cancelling out the quantity, we will get price on the right hand side and price on the left hand side as well. So this proves that average revenue is always equals to the price of the commodity. Getting my point? That is what I was telling you. Average revenue is equals to price. How it is equal to price? This is how we can prove it. This is how we can prove it. Is this clear, everyone? So the whole thing
Yes,
is that if in any question you are required to calculate average revenue, if in any question you are required to calculate the average revenue, and you are also provided with the price of the commodity, then instead of calculating the average revenue by dividing the total revenue by quantity, you can directly write the average revenue in place of the you can write the price of the commodity wherever you are required to find out the average of the commodity. All right, everyone, is this clear, all of you? Shall I explain this again? Anyone
no, sir,
having any
it's
doubt?
clear.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So let's do one more question based on the same concept. So this question on screen, please try this question. In this question, we are required to calculate the total revenue, average revenue, and the marginal revenue. Everyone, solve this question. Do let me know the answer, please. And Samiksha, you didn't
Yes.
told me whether you will be able to take the class at 7 o'clock as per Indian timing.
Sir, it's not possible 4:30.
That's not possible.
Sir, my dad told in the, I think to the number, I think, but I think my dad told.
Okay, so your dad told Nishkarsh that you won't be
Yeah,
able to attend the class at
4:30 is not
4:30.
possible.
Okay.
Sir, anytime after that is fine.
Anytime after 4:30, that means you will be comfortable taking class at 5:30.
Yeah, 5 also, 5:30.
Okay. Okay. Let me think about it. I'll let you know.
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone. Done. Is this question finished?
Yes, sir. Done.
Junaid and P. Steve. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
anyone can, Peer, can you just tell me the total revenue in this question?
Sir, 150 and
Mm-hmm.
132,
Mm-hmm.
again 132,
Mm-hmm.
and 130, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
112,
Mm-hmm.
and
105.
105.
yes, sir,
Okay.
130.
Then marginal revenue, Samiksha.
Sir, 150
Mm-hmm.
minus 18,
Mm-hmm.
0, minus 2, minus 18, minus 7.
Okay. All right, everyone. So we will do one more question. This will be the question that we will be doing. This is the question regarding the missing values. I want all of you to calculate the missing figures in the question. After this, we will be doing the next theoretical topic of this chapter. So do it fast, everyone. Let me know when you're done, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so in this question, output is given 20. Sorry, output is given 1. Price is also given. So when price is multiplied with the quantity, we will get the total revenue. 20 into 1, we will get total revenue as 20. And as we know that marginal revenue at the first unit is always equal to the total revenue. So hence the marginal revenue will also be 20.
20.
Now average revenue, as I told you, average revenue is always equals to the price of the commodity. So as the price is given
20.
in the question, we are not required to find out the average revenue. So 20 will be the average revenue. One more thing that you can understand from this point is that average revenue, marginal revenue, and total revenue both are, sorry, all of these values are same at the first unit of output. It always remains same at the first unit of output. Now marginal revenue is given as 16. That means extra revenue generated by the seller is 16.
So
So the total,
36.
yeah, so total revenue that that seller was already generating at the first unit was 20. Now he have generated 16 rupees extra as the marginal revenue. So the total revenue of the seller will goes to 36 rupees. And now we can calculate the price. 36 divided by 2, we will get the price of the commodity,
18.
that will be 18. Is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
And obviously the average revenue will always be equal to the price of the commodity, hence it will be 18 as well. Junaid, Peer, and everyone else. Is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the third unit. At third unit, average revenue is given this time. So if average revenue is given, can you tell me the total revenue? If average revenue as third unit is 15, that
45.
means first of all, the price must be equal to the 15, right?
Yes.
And simply price multiply with the quantity, we will get 45.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now there is a change in the total revenue. How much is the change in the total revenue?
9.
From 36, it goes to 45. That means there is a 9 rupee change in the total revenue. Okay, now next time marginal revenue is given as 0. That means there is no value addition in the total revenue. That means it remains 45. Okay, and price will be how much? So price will be 45 divided by 4. It will be
11.2.
11.2. Okay, so the average revenue will also be 11.20. Okay. Next, price is given this time 12 into 5. How much it will be?
Sir, 11.25, not 0.
Okay, 11.25 was it.
5.
Okay, sorry, 11.25 it is, guys.
Yes, sir.
12 into 5, we will get
60.
60, and
50.
average revenue will be 12, and it will be 15 also.
15.
Okay, then marginal revenue is minus 10. That means total revenue must decline by
50.
50. So this goes to 50, and 50 divided by 6, we will get
8.33.
8.33. Okay, so the average revenue will also be
8.33.
All right, everyone, tell me, is this clear, all of you? Junaid, Peer, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. All right, everyone. So now I hope all of you must have understand how revenue is calculated, what is average marginal revenue, and why average revenue is always equals to the price of the commodity. Let's move to the next topic. Now we will understand the relationship between different type of revenues. So let me explain this first of all. We will come back to the PowerPoint, but just a minute. Okay, So now everyone, please try to understand this. In this chapter, we have to cover a relationship. We have to cover two relationship between, first of all, we have to discuss the relationship between the total revenue and marginal revenue. This is the first relationship that we will be discussing in this chapter, total revenue and the marginal revenue. Second relationship, and that is also known as TR and MR, total revenue and marginal revenue, TR and MR relationship, how both are related with each other. And we will also discuss the relationship between the average revenue and the marginal revenue. Average revenue and marginal revenue. We will also discuss these, average revenue and the marginal revenue. All right, this is called AR and MR. So we have to cover two relationship, TR and MR relationship, and then we will be talking about the average revenue and the marginal revenue. But before talking about the relationship, now try to understand the relationship between the total revenue and marginal revenue depends upon the market type. So there are two types of market that exist. Broadly, we can categorize the market into two categories. So we will be talking about the relationship between the TR and MR in context of different types of market. So first of all, try to understand there are two types of market that primarily exist. Number one is called perfect competition. Perfect competition market. And then there is a second type of market, which is called imperfect market. Perfect competition and imperfect competition. So these are the two broad categories of the market. Then we have further division of the imperfect competition as well. We have monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly. These are the different types of market under the category of imperfect competition. But for the time being, we are not concerned about the types of market under the imperfect competition. We will only be discussing about the two different types of market are there, perfect competition and imperfect competition. Now also try to understand this, that in case of if the seller is selling their product in the perfect competition, all right, so we have two types of market. No, if seller can sell their product either in the perfect competition or he can go to the imperfect competition market. So let's understand that if a seller is selling their product in the perfect competition market, what happens in the perfect competition market? Let me tell you little bit about the perfect competition. We will be discussing this type of market in detail in this chapter, which is known as forms of market. We will be discussing forms of market in the upcoming sessions. So I'll be teaching you about the perfect competition more in detail in the upcoming sessions. But for the time being, just keep this in mind that in case of perfect competition, all the sellers sell their product in the market, sell their product in market at the same price only, at same price. That means no seller compete with each other with respect to price of the commodity. If one seller is selling the price at ₹10, then all the seller will be selling their product at ₹10 only. There will be no competition among the seller on the basis of the price of the commodity. All the seller have to sell their product at the same price. This means that if the seller goes in the perfect competition market, and if he sell, let's say if he sell 1 unit in the market, then he will have to sell their product at ₹10, the price that is prevailing in the market. And if he's willing to sell second unit, he will have to sell the second unit on the same price only. All right. Similarly, third unit will be sold at the same price, fourth, fifth, sixth. However, the number of unit that he sold, the price of the commodity will remain same. He have to sell the commodity at the same price. And at this price, all the seller must be selling the commodity in the market. So all the seller that are present in the market, all the seller already selling at rupees 10. So if our seller enters into the market with the intention of selling his product into the market, then he will have to sell the product at the same price that is fixed in the market. So this kind of market is called perfect competition. In this situation, in this kind of market, firm sells their output at the same price. Firm is not required to reduce the price in order to sell more quantity in the market. But let's talk about the imperfect competition. In case of imperfect competition, in order to compete with the other firms operating in the market, in order to compete with other firms or sellers in the market, firm decreases the price, decreases the price of good in order to sell more, in order to sell more quantity. Getting my point? In this kind of, in case of perfect competition, seller is not required to reduce the price of commodity to sell more quantity of the commodity. It is presumed that in case of perfect competition at rupees 10, seller will be able to sell any quantity that is willing to sell in the market. Either he sell 1 unit or 1000 unit or 1 lakh unit, he will be able to sell all the units at the same price. He is not required to reduce the price if he is dealing in the perfect competition market. But if he is in the imperfect competition, it is presumed that in case of imperfect competition, competition amongst the seller is more stiff, more there is a cutthroat competition in the market. Therefore, in order to survive the competition, in order to survive in the market, seller, in order to sell more quantity, in order to attract more customer for their product, what seller used to do, what seller generally do, seller generally reduces the price of the commodity in order to sell more quantity. Let's say if he's selling 1 unit at rupees 10, then in order to sell more quantity, he will be reducing the price. Let's say 10.5 or 2, sorry, not 10.5. But if he's selling 1 unit at rupees 10, then he will have to reduce price of the commodity. Let's say price of the commodity will be at, for the second unit, it will be 9.8. If buyer is willing to buy 3 units, then the seller will reduce price to 9, 8, 7, 6. Getting my point? In case of imperfect competition, price reduces, but in case of perfect competition, price remains same. All right, everyone, is this clear? Just let me know if the different forms of market is clear to all of you.
Yes, sir.
So we have how many types of market? There are 2 types of market now, perfect and the imperfect competition. What happens in the perfect competition? So for the time being, just keep this in mind that in case of perfect competition, there is no change in the price of the commodity. No change. Why there is no change in the price of commodity? No change in price because seller can sell. It is presumed that seller can sell any number of quantity at the same price. Therefore, he is not required to reduce the price of the commodity. But in case of imperfect competition, it is presumed that the competition in the market is so difficult that in order to sell more quantity of the commodity, seller have to reduce the price of the commodity. Otherwise, he won't be able to survive in the market. So let me make it more clear by giving you one example. Let's understand. Let me give you the example one, wherein the seller is selling these quantity output 0, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units that seller is selling in the market. And let's say in order to sell the 7 units, he is charging same price at all the units. So he's charging, let's say for the first unit, he's charging 20 rupees. For the second unit as well, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and 20. All right, let's presume that we are talking about this seller, seller A. Okay. Now let's talk about the other seller who is also selling his product. And what is given in the question is that suppose seller B is selling output 1 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And in order to sell more quantity of the commodity, seller B have to reduce the price of the commodity. So let's suppose this is the price that he is charging for the commodity. Let's say for the first unit he is charging 40 rupees, then for the second unit he is only charging 38, then 36, then 32, then 30, then let's say 26, and finally 20. For every extra unit he is reducing the price so as to sell more quantity of the commodity. Can any one of you tell me that firm A or seller A is operating in which kind of market, and seller B is operating in which kind of market? Anyone? Junaid, Samiksha.
Can you repeat the question, sir?
Question is, Mr. A is selling 7 units of a commodity in a particular market. All right. And seller B is also selling their product in a particular market. But seller A has to reduce the price of the commodity in order to sell more quantity of the output, right? But seller B is not required to, seller A is not required to reduce the price of the commodity in order to sell more quantity, but seller B is required to reduce the price of the commodity in order to sell more quantity. So I just wanted to know, can you tell me firm A or the seller A is operating in which kind of market, and seller B is operating in which kind of market?
Sir, can you give the options?
Options. Samisha, can you answer this? So we have only 2 types of market. No, we have perfect competition.
The name of the two market.
Perfect competition and the
Okay,
imperfect
so
competition.
A is imperfect and B is perfect.
A is imperfect and B is imperfect. Oh, okay. Anyone else? Peer, can you tell me?
Sir,
Yes. Yeah.
I think first one, where the price, all of them are constant, I think that is perfect.
Correct. That is perfect. See, that is what I have explained in the above. See, wherein the seller can sell their product at the same price, market wherein the seller is able to sell their product at the same price, he is not required to reduce the price. This kind of market is called perfect competition. And wherein the seller is required to reduce the price of the commodity in order to sell more quantity of the commodity, this kind of market form is called imperfect competition. So in this example, you can easily identify that firm A is able to sell, or seller A is able to sell more quantity of the commodity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can see he's charging the same price for every additional unit. But on the other hand, Mr. B, in order to sell more quantity, he is required to reduce the price of the commodity. Earlier, he was charging 40 rupees, then he charged 38, then 36, then 32, 30, 26, and 20. So you can clearly see that prices of the commodity are declining. So this kind of market is called the imperfect competition, and this is called the perfect competition. Tell me, Junaid, is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, guys, very good. Now we have to discuss, as I told you, actually we are required to discuss the relationship between the total revenue and the marginal revenue, right? Now total relationship between the total revenue and marginal revenue changes with the market structure. If seller is selling their product in the perfect competition market, then relationship between total and the marginal is different. If seller is selling its product in the imperfect competition, then the relationship between the marginal revenue and the total revenue will be different. So in order to understand the relationship between the total revenue, marginal revenue, or average revenue, marginal revenue, we must have the knowledge regarding the form of market, because depending upon the form of market, the relationship between the total revenue, marginal revenue changes, and similarly average revenue and the marginal revenue relationship between AR and MR also changes depending upon the market situation. So we will in today's class we will discuss what is the relationship between the total revenue and the marginal revenue if the seller is operating in the imperfect competition market. That means in order to sell the more quantity, if he's required to reduce the price of the commodity, what kind of relationship will be there between the total revenue and the marginal revenue? And let me show you this on the slide. Just a minute. Okay, so see, this is the table indicating the total revenue and marginal revenue. Now try to pay attention that seller is selling more unit. No, from first unit he increased his sale from first unit to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. So these are the quantity that seller is selling in the market, and these are the prices that seller is charging: 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And this is the total revenue that he is generating, and this is the marginal revenue. So we will later talk about the total and the marginal revenue, but first of all, tell me, if you can clearly see here, no, the prices are decreasing by every additional unit. For first unit, he's only charging 10 rupees. Then for the second unit, he's charging 9. Then for the third unit, he's charging 8, then 7, 6, 5, 4. So can you just tell me in which kind of market the seller is operating in?
Imperfect.
Imperfect competition, correct. He's operating in the imperfect competition. All right. Now, as we have already understood that he is operating in the imperfect competition, now let's calculate the value of total revenue. At first unit, he is selling the first unit at rupees 10. That means total revenue will be 10. And for second unit, he is charging 9 rupees. That means total revenue will be 18. Then for the third unit, he is charging 8 rupees. That means total revenue is 24. So this is how we have calculated the value of total revenue in the particular table. That total revenue will be 10, 18, 24, 28, 38, 30, and 28. All right. Is the calculation of total revenue is clear to all of you? How total revenue is calculated? Junaid, Peer, Samiksha, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I'm very sure that marginal revenue, the calculation of marginal revenue must also be clear to all of you. That marginal revenue is calculated as a difference of the total revenue. So marginal revenue is at the first unit it is 10, then 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, and finally -2. All right. Is the calculation of the marginal revenue is also clear to all of you? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Junaid, is this clear for you as well?
Yes, sir.
Now let's create the relationship between the marginal revenue and the total revenue. Now try to pay attention on this table, that you can see that marginal revenue is initially it is decreasing 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. All right. And till the fifth unit, marginal revenue is continuously declining. Till the fifth unit, marginal revenue is continuously declining, but it is positive. It is not yet it becomes 0. It is continuously declining, but it has a positive value. Now look at the total revenue. You will notice that when marginal revenue is declining, you will notice that total revenue is increasing, right? Total revenue was at first unit, it was 10, then it goes to 18, then 24, 28, 30. Tell me, till the fifth unit, when marginal revenue is declining, total revenue is increasing. Yes or no? Is this clear, all of you? Total revenue is increasing. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. It's
Junaid,
increasing.
is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now see, when marginal revenue eventually becomes 0, when it goes to 0, when there is no additional revenue generated, that is marginal revenue is 0. Can you notice? Are you able to notice that total revenue is constant at this point? At fifth unit it was 30, and at the sixth unit as well it is 60. So when there is no addition in the marginal revenue, total revenue remains constant. It remains constant. And at the same time, being constant, it is also at its maximum value. Total revenue is maximum at the sixth unit. Is this clear? At 0 unit, sorry, at 0 marginal revenue, total revenue becomes constant, and it also reaches its maximum point. Tell me, is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
when finally marginal revenue declines, when finally marginal revenue, sorry, not decline, when marginal revenue becomes negative, because marginal revenue is continuously declining, no, but at the seventh unit only it becomes negative. And as soon as the marginal revenue becomes negative, now you will see that the total revenue starts declining. From 30 it goes down to 28. So this gives you three points. Number one, when marginal revenue decreases, but it doesn't become zero. Until that point, total revenue goes on increasing. Getting my point? When marginal revenue is decreasing, but it is not zero, till that point, total revenue goes on increasing. And as soon as the marginal revenue becomes zero, total revenue stops increasing. It becomes constant. And at the same time, it reaches its maximum value. 2 points. Third thing is that when marginal revenue becomes negative, then total revenue starts declining. Is this clear, all of you? Let me also explain this one more time through the note. Just a minute. Okay, so let's take an example here. Suppose we are, these are the various quantity or the output that a seller is selling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And these are the prices of the commodity. Let's say price was 20, then 19, then 18, then 17, 16, 15, and 14. These are the values on the at which the firm is selling the commodity. And we are required to calculate total revenue and the marginal revenue from the given information. Okay. So now, first of all, let's calculate the value of the total revenue. Total revenue. So total revenue will be 1 into 20, it will be 20. Then 19 into 20, it will be 38. Then 18 into 33, it will be 51. Then 17 into 4, it will be 68, right? Then 16 into 5, 90. Is that correct? Yes. Then 15 into 6, it will also be, I think this will also be 90. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now finally 14 into 7, it will be 98. Correct, everyone? Let's take one more value, 8, and this is 12. So it will be 96. Okay, now let's calculate the value of the marginal revenue. All of you, let's calculate the value of the marginal revenue. So you can see marginal revenue will be 20 here. Then it will be 18, right? Then it will be, how much it will be? It will be 12, I think. Yes, 12. Then then marginal revenue will be 61 and 17. Then it will be 12 again, and finally it will be 0. Then 2, no, not 2, it's 8, and finally minus 2. This is 8. All of you, is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Now see, what I'm telling you, until marginal revenue declines, but it remains positive. Even though it is declining, but it is positive, then you will notice that total revenue continuously increases. So it is even though marginal revenue is declining, except at this point, at all other points, marginal revenue is declining. You can notice that total revenue is continuously increasing. So this is the first relationship. When marginal revenue decreases but remains positive, then total revenue increases. All right. And similarly, when the marginal revenue becomes 0, when there is no marginal revenue, 0 marginal revenue, then total revenue becomes constant. You can see it was 90, it is still 90. So this is that it shows that marginal revenue is becoming, when marginal revenue is becoming 0, total revenue is constant. And at 0, marginal revenue is at its maximum. Okay, it is not at maximum. Have we calculated this value correctly? 14 into 7, it is how much? Everyone?
So 9820.
98. So why it is not applying on this? Okay. All right, let's for the time being just skip this point. Let's just skip this point. Okay. Now you can see when marginal revenue becomes negative, when it becomes negative, you will be able to notice that from 90 it goes to 96. Again, it is increasing. Okay, so I think I have taken the wrong values. I won't be able to explain the relationship between the total and marginal revenue and by taking the above figures. So let's just understand the relationship between the total and the marginal on the given table on this particular question. So see, in this table you can see marginal revenue is decreasing, but it is positive, and until it is positive, total revenue is continuously increasing. 10, 18, 24, 28, 30. And when marginal revenue is zero, total revenue is becoming constant and it reaches maximum point. And when marginal revenue is negative, total revenue finally declines. Tell me everyone, is this clear? Junaid and Peer, all of you are clear?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now based on this table, and if you have understood this particular table, now we can draw the diagram of the total and the marginal revenue. So as you can see, as you can see in the diagram, we have to take the two axes, price and the quantity. On the y-axis, we will be taking the price. No, it okay. And now we will be drawing the total revenue curve. Now, initially what happens now, total revenue curve increases, right? Total revenue increases initially. Is this correct? Total revenue increases. And after increasing at till a particular point, it becomes constant, right? Initially it increases, then it becomes constant, and finally it goes declining. So this is how the total revenue curve is formed. Let me show you again. Total revenue initially increases with every additional unit. It goes to its maximum point, become constant, and finally it starts declining. Tell me, is this clear, all of you? This is the total revenue curve. Tell me.
Yes, sir.
And okay, now tell me how marginal revenue behave throughout the different quantity. You will notice that marginal revenue continuously decline. Yes, Junad, is that so? Marginal
Yes.
revenue continuously declines, no? So because marginal revenue continuously declines, it also becomes zero and it eventually becomes negative as well. So when you will draw the diagram for the marginal revenue, you will notice that marginal revenue continuously goes on declining. This is how the marginal revenue curve will be formed. It will start from the same point from where the total revenue start, because at the first unit, total revenue and the marginal revenue always remains same. But as the output increases, as sellers sell more unit of the commodity in the imperfect competition market, you will notice that the marginal revenue goes on declining, and eventually it reaches the point of zero. This is where marginal revenue is getting zero, and finally after reaching zero, it goes further down to negative, so it becomes negative as well. So you can see, you can say that this is the marginal revenue curve. This is the marginal revenue curve. All right, now see, when at the unit wherein the marginal revenue is zero, you will notice that at the same point total revenue is constant and maximum, right? At this point marginal revenue is zero and total revenue is maximum. Is that correct, right everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so keeping this in mind, we can create three relationships. First of all, you can say that marginal revenue decreases but remains positive until then total revenue keep on increasing, right? Total revenue increases. Then second relationship we can establish is that when marginal revenue is zero, then total revenue is constant and at its maximum. When marginal revenue is zero, total revenue is constant and at its maximum. And finally, the third relationship will be when marginal revenue is negative, then total revenue starts to decline. When finally marginal revenue becomes negative, total revenue starts declining. These are the three relationship between the total revenue and the marginal revenue in case of imperfect competition, in case of a situation wherein the seller is selling the commodity in the imperfect market. Tell me everyone, is this clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what we call the relationship between the total and the marginal revenue. Okay, let me explain this one more time. Today we were discussing the relationship between TR and MR, and as I told you, in order to understand the relationship between the TR and MR, we have to understand the type of market first. All right, because depending upon the different type of market, relationship also changes. Right now we are talking about the imperfect competition market, and to establish a relationship between the total revenue and marginal revenue, we will first of all draw this table. And on this table, we'll have to take 4 columns. First of all, we will take the column for the unit, then we will take the price, then total revenue and marginal revenue we will calculate. And while taking the price value for the prices, you will have to take into account that prices continuously decreases as the output increase. That is what we are also doing in this table. You can see that prices are continuously declining. Price was earlier, it was 10, then it goes to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, like this. And on the basis of the price and quantity, we will calculate total revenue, and similarly we will also calculate the marginal revenue. Now once the marginal revenue and total revenue is calculated, we can establish 3 types of relationship. 3 types of relationship on the basis of this table, that marginal revenue is decreasing initially, but until it is positive, total revenue continuously increases. So at one side it is decreasing, but the total revenue is increasing. When marginal revenue goes to 0, total revenue becomes constant and it reaches its maximum point. Similarly, when marginal revenue becomes negative, total revenue starts to decline. And the same thing we can also indicate it on the diagram. So on the diagram, we have to first of all make the total revenue curve. This will be initially, it will be an upward sloping curve, because initially total revenue increases, then it goes it reaches its maximum point and becomes constant. So then the marginal total revenue curve will be a straight line curve after this point, and eventually from the from the next unit it goes declining. So this is how it will be indicated, it is decreasing. Now we will have to draw the diagram for the marginal revenue. This is how marginal revenue curve will be formed, downward sloping curve. And on this diagram, we will have to indicate this point, that at the 0 marginal revenue, total revenue is constant and at its maximum. After creating this diagram, we can conclude that when marginal revenue decreases, total revenue increases. When marginal revenue is 0, then total revenue is constant. And finally, when marginal revenue is negative, total revenue starts to decline. All right, everyone, is this clear, all of you? Junaid and Peer, Samiksha, Steve.
Yes.
So there is one more relationship in this chapter. We are also required to understand the relationship between the average revenue and marginal revenue, but we will be doing this in the next class only. We will most probably we will finish this chapter in the first 15 minutes of the next class, and after that we will discuss few questions based on this chapter, and then we will start a new chapter tomorrow. So this is it, guys, for the economic section. We will now take a break of 5 minutes, then we will continue with our accounts part. And today we will be starting a new chapter in accounts. So this will be for the second term. We will be starting a new chapter that will be bill of exchange. So those of you who are willing to attend the accounts class as well, they can wait for 5 more minutes, then we will continue with our accounts part. All right, everyone. So right now I'm taking a break of 5 minutes, then I'll continue.